third and fourth in the championship. Mercedes and Williams are spot on. They are bang on together on points for fifth and sixth. And then Ferrari's in a little world of their own there. But you got Alpine, Red Bull, and maybe McLaren. They've started to come on strong with results. They're all very close as well. So there's plenty of different stories going on in the constructor standings.
Yeah, and we're not even halfway, Moose. So the turntables could change at any time for any of these teams. And we're here in the Q1 session, mate, and it is a light drizzle at the moment, mate. So all the drivers are coming out quite quickly as maybe the conditions aren't going to stay dry for too long. So early lap times are going to get out here, Moose. And the lap time being so long, conditions can change in a matter of one lap from being dry to wet.
Well, we did see the polar opposite of that last night, mate. In the race, it went from basically nearly full wet conditions to nearly slicks in the space of a lap, and it was incredibly crazy the way it happened in last night's race. And it does look like we're going to get some weather here again tonight. If one of these guys racing can give us a weather report, we do have an eye on the chat. But mate,
all 20 are on the circuit, mate, so I think it's going to be a bit hard for them to get us a weather report.
It is looking very, very dire out there, isn't it?
It is, mate. Fury's going to kick it off. You can take us through the lap.
No worries at all, mate. So we're on board here with Fury Strat. Opens the car up nice, and he wants to get it as wide as possible and just try and kiss this apex for turn one. Misses it a little bit. There's a couple of different lines he can take through there, though. So not the end of the world, but he'll be looking to push. And as he comes up through Eau Rouge and into Radion, you've got to be very careful, otherwise you'll crash out like I did last night on the right-hand side, where we saw Anton Hubert have his big accident a couple of seasons ago. Late on the brakes here as you can after having that DRS open. He has missed that apex once again, just showing how tricky conditions are out there at the moment. And he is invalidated as he's cut that corner a little bit. So we'll try and jump on board with whoever's next. And it is Darkness Abyss, who is yet to invalidate it. He's just on his way down the hill. But mate, he's also missing some of these apexes. So the track does certainly have that sheen on it at the moment. So
it's getting wet, mate.
Like you were saying, these early laps are definitely going to count as DRS disabled. Has been disabled.
Well, the ones further around are going to get at least more of the lap in the dry conditions. So Fury Strat invalidating could cost him here, mate.
Absolutely.
As it's just important to get a lap time on the board in this early part of qualifying, as the track will continue to get worse. There's a McLaren going slowly in Sector 2 through the campus chicane, but we stay on board with Darkness here, coming out of Stavelot, getting a little bit wayward there. You've just got to be careful now as you come down towards Blanchimont and to the bus stop, just to get the lap time on the board, as there's a Hask really coming towards the back of him now. And there was a Williams in there, but I think that Williams has dropped off at some point. So
I think there's been a collision between M-Stone and another driver. M-Stone having a trip through the gravel. Sorry to cut you off there, mate.
Yeah, I think it was M-Stone, because he was right up with the Haas there on the circuit. So Darkness is going to set a lap time here. It's at 56. Who was that off in the background? The Haas of Kraken spins over the line and setting a 55.7. Gets out of the way of the drivers coming. But the lap times are going to keep coming in, mate. But I don't think they're going to exactly go much faster, because the track conditions are going to keep getting worse and worse.
Is worse or a word?
But well, Kraken's going to enjoy that grabber, mate.
It must be said, mate, that last night on intermediate conditions, the boys were doing 54s or a little bit worse thereon. So is there a little bit of time to be found out there? These guys that are done up in the 2 minutes, they're definitely going to improve on the Inter. Yeah,
well, I think that's going to be their saving grace here, Moose, that they just didn't quite get around fast enough for the dryers. So they might be able to have a go on the Inters and get through, but
I think everyone flourish and above is safe, just quietly.
Yeah, I think, look, I don't think anyone's going to be feeling particularly comfortable, but we'll have to just wait and see until we get those intermediate times, and I'm sure we're going to get them quite soon, mate.
As Blue Dog is the first man out on track on the Inters.
Yes, he is, mate, but it's definitely far too wet now for the slick tyres, Moosey.
Yeah.
As soon as the DRS was disabled, that was the time when the Inters would have been faster, and that was a good half of the lap for Darkness there, who was our first one to come across for a valid lap time. So all of them suffering, and that's probably why the lap times are a little bit slower than we might see on the Inters shortly.
Yeah, the track conditions definitely deteriorated very, very quickly, as we did see a lot of these drivers that definitely don't look very comfortable in these conditions.
Yeah. Well, wet practice isn't exactly a common practice here for some of these drivers, so they might just have to figure it out as we go. Maybe we'll get dry later on in the qualifying session. Who knows what we're going to get for the race? We'll have to sit on the edge of our seat here, Moose, and just wait to see.
Absolutely, and Nick Magoo's going around very slowly with no front wing, so I'm not sure if he's at a come into God with the wall, but his front wing is completely gone.
Yeah, I think it might have been up down at turn 1 or something, because I caught him coming up through El Rouge with no front wing. So a painfully slow in lap for Nick Magoo here on the soft compound tyre. But we'll stay on board.
Well, at least he fared
here.
better than I did through El Rouge.
That's all right. Yeah, that's all right, mate. You didn't exactly love El Rouge in qualifying last night, did you?
No, but I made up for it in the race, I thought. So
that's it, mate. Your teammate Blue Dog in the Ferrari, hopefully he can get it up El Rouge on these Inters. We'll right on board. So coming out of the bus stop chicane, no DRS in these conditions, and down towards La Source, slowly rotate it into the apex. It's going to feel like the car's an absolute boat there in these conditions. Just have to be patient, and then with the throttle hard onto it now, down towards El Rouge. Does he have enough to get it through there flat? No, there's a small lift before he turns it in right through Radion, and exiting onto the Kemmel Straight here, and a long uphill climb towards the Lake Com chicane, Moose, where he's going to have to brake probably around 70 metres here in these conditions. Just staying off these curbs, especially in these conditions, they will throw you all sorts of directions, probably towards the barriers, and then coming through Malmedy there, down towards the long sweeping Brachel's corner, plunging down the hill, easy for an inside lock-up for those not using the ABS assist, and then through No Name here, down towards Puon, which is definitely much more of a difficult corner in these conditions. You've just got to get the nose in, and then wait with the power, and then go full power down towards the campus chicane here. Medium speed chicane, tricky with the curbs, tricky with the grip and conditions. Blue Dog seems to be figuring it out quite nicely here, Moose, as he's coming towards the end of Sector 2 here at Stavelo, making sure he doesn't run too wide here, or else he could get on that curb and it might spin up the rear tyres, and he navigates the car once again nicely through there. Now he's just got 2 corners to go. Blanchimont probably going to be a little lift here for Blue Dog. No, keeps it pinned, so Blue Dog committed here in Q1, Moose, and now the bus stop chicane to go. Onto the brake, second gear, hooks up the apex there, and then slowly points it towards the finish line and slowly presses the power down and comes across the line, and it's going to be P1 there for Blue Dog, a 54.7 Moose. That was a very tidy lap there from Blue Dog.
Yeah, that it was, and I did mention that, the guys last night were doing about a 54 in the intermediate tyres, so that's exactly spot on for where those tyres should be at. And a lot of these, well, all of these blokes that have set a lap on the soft compound tyres, they're going to have to go again here, mate.
Yeah, well, they don't. We now know that those soft times aren't enough, so it's going to be the case of the intermediate lap times getting you through this session. Mr. Furistrat goes up into second there for Alfa Romeo, and then I think it's an Alpha Tauri of Absolute, mate, coming towards the bus stop.
Correct. Although that car is sounding sick.
Just riding the low revs, mate, there in third gear out of the chicane to try and get some better traction, and off board it sounds like the gearbox is just not loving ya. It sounds like the car is sick. That's it, Moose. It's a good way to put it. For those probably no traction control, it's just an easier method to get power down by using a higher gear, as Dino puts his Ferrari on the front row alongside his teammate. But Blue Dog, that lap time's holding pretty steady there at the top, mate, so proving that it was actually a very good lap time like we thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. And it does look like at this moment in time that the Ferrari boys have got the setup absolutely spot on, as they're currently running P1, P2.
Yes, they are. So I think Crazy Kiwi. No, it's Brad Tay coming across the line there for Mercedes up into P7, 55.6. And I think Blue Dog's coming around for another lap here, mate. But he's invalidated it, so he's coming into the pit lane.
Yeah, he's been due for a very good result, Blue Dog. He's been very consistent the whole way through this season, but he's just found himself a little bit unlucky at times, and it's actually cost him race results. So he's definitely due for a big result here, and currently running P1. It is only Q1, but he is looking the goods so far.
I'm trying desperately, mate, to find someone on a valid lap time here, but
Nick Magoo.
they all seem to be out laps or struggling. Yeah, we'll go on board with Magoo for the entirety of his lap from the Campbell Straight beyond Moose. So this chicane is pretty tricky in these conditions because it's easy to brush wide there in the left-hander, and then it just compromises you through that right-hander Malmedy, and it's just going to cost you even further down towards this sweeping hairpin.
So, mate, we do have our first question of the night, and we do have half an eye on the chat, and we use the hashtag AskMoosey or the hashtag AskDeezy, but we do have a question. What assists are the drivers allowed to use? Mate, did you want to take this one?
Yeah, so I think I'm going off memory here for this division because it's different for all of the for the tiers. I think it's medium traction here for Tier 2 ABS. And racing the line as Crazy Kiwi, mate, gets up into first position there for Mercedes. And Absolute as well has jumped up onto the front row. But we'll go back to Nick Magoo now.
I'm also not 100% certain that pit assist is allowed.
No pit assist in Tier 2.
Correct.
No pit assist, no DRS, no fuel, no ERS. So that's all manual.
So you have to drive your own car.
That's it. So wet for most of the quali and dry
Nick
race.
Magoo's going to come up against some traffic. Might have just hampered him a little bit, but there was enough of a gap there as someone definitely got out of it. It looked like a Ferrari, perhaps.
I think of Dino.
Yeah.
Was that Ferrari?
But with about 4.5 minutes to go, your driver's at risk. They are Roscoe... VSR Roscoe, who hasn't set a lap time yet, but he is on a lap.
Here he is, out of the bus stop.
Yeah. So he goes to P3, so he's no longer at risk. Up into third.
The man who races on Xbox and PlayStation. He loves a bit of league racing on all platforms. Gets up into third. His teammate Miles on reserve. Only manages 18th here, mate. As Milligan's championship leader gets up into second and well and truly clear of the drop zone.
Yeah. Drivers at risk, as we mentioned. They are... Flourish Expire, Apache Franks, Miles, Nick Magoo, and Kraken at the moment, if you can believe that. Kraken, one of the premier races here in Tier 2. He'd be definitely looking to improve as he's not looking very confident, mate. I'm riding on board with him now. And just coming down the hill there, he did not look confident in the car at all.
Tricky conditions for... drivers are going to be running dry setups here, Moose, because we've got a dry race. It can just make the car be even more on the edge. And he was boasting about his time trial lap times before, Moose, if you remember, but time trial means nothing when you get into the qualifying session.
Well, that's exactly right.
They got another question, mate. How many zingers are getting slammed this evening? Well, maybe we'll get a zinger. I might get a zinger delivered partway through the race, so I can munch on it after the driver interviews.
Do we inform the folks at home of what we were talking about earlier? That's sitting
I think
on
we
my
do,
table?
mate. I think we do. You brought it up now. We can't not talk about
Kraken
it.
only manages 13th, so he's in a bit of strife, old Kraken. I warmed a zinger. Well, I got a zinger this afternoon about lunchtime, and it's still sitting on my table in front of me. So. It's a little bit crusty now, a little bit past its use by, I would have thought. But you never know. We might warm her up in the air fryer and give her a crack a bit later.
Who knows if that'll work? It might. I don't have an air fryer, so I don't really have any experience to talk about. But
get on them. They are the greatest things since sliced bread.
I was about to say, apparently they are elite, mate. Not as elite as a Zinger burger or a Zinger box, but they are elite.
Especially for, like, re-warming fish and chips the next day.
Nick Magoo's out, mate.
Ah, he is, yeah.
Nick Magoo's out at the exit of Malmedy there, mate. And Tab's going past now from the Aston Martin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there you go. I reckon he's just lost it on that curbing there at the exit of Malmedy and gone spearing into the wall.
I would agree with that. As I think Darkness Abyss, possibly? No. There's someone going very, very slowly. I'm just trying to work out who it is. It is M. Stone. Going very slowly indeed. In fact, I think he's even in low fuel mode.
That could explain it, mate. Not going to go too fast with no fuel.
No. Wouldn't have thought.
Why is that tabbed in Tier 2? Because that's how quick Tier 1 is, mate. It's Ty into P5 on reserve for the Alfa Romeo team.
So we will definitely lose both McLarens. So very unfortunate there for McLaren as Nick Magoo has crashed out. Apache Franks is in the box. So they will both be out. Miles is about 3/10 up on a time he needs to get out of the bottom 5. That's going to do him some favours. The Stig is a 10th up, so he's doing everything he needs to do at the moment. Also, we do have another yellow flag.
Someone parking in the pit lane, mate. Correct. As Tab goes faster once again, mate. He's well out in front. Tab's really improved in these last couple of rounds. Unfortunately.
As the Stig comes across the line, moves himself into 15th, so provisionally out of the relegation zone.
But Miles pushes him back down into it, mate. Miles up into 10th there.
Very impressive lap there.
Yeah, good lap there from Miles. And they're all just on their final flying laps here of the session, I'd say, mate, because no one's close to the bus stop chicane.
Yeah,
so whoever's out there at the moment...
Fury Strat not improving.
It's a long lap time from Sector 1 to Sector 2, so there's a lot of time to find time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
A lot of corners in between the two sector lines.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, you get me?
Yeah.
So it's actually going to be Cryotonic first.
Just reporting on the facts.
The facts, mate. We love the facts here at OSRL. So Cryotonic's invalidated. He should be well and truly safe up where he currently sits, but Flourish is finding 7/10 at the moment through the first two sectors, and if he can just feed it through the bus stop, should get himself a nice little lap time.
Yeah.
Just so tricky, the exit of the bus stop here in these conditions. And he gets a little snap on the outside, but gets through up onto the front row with his teammate. Here comes Fury. Only manages 11th.
That'll be enough.
11th for Fury. It will be enough, but only 11th for the man.
I'll tell you what, though, both the Haas boys are in deep trouble.
Oh, here comes Kraken, mate. I think he should improve here. Yeah, he does. Up into second. So, he has just given us a little bit of something to think about there. So,
well, mate, Nat Hammer is 2.5 down on his best time, so he could be in a bit of strife here. As Darkness Abyss is coming around the final bend now, improves to 9th.
He pushes his teammate into the drop zone. The Stig only gets to 16th, mate. Nat Hammer coming out of the final corner. Can he hold on to that time and improve? Yes, he does. Goes up into
Dino
12.
In trouble. Jeez,
Dino.
that definitely changed around very quickly, didn't it? As Brad Tay can't do anything about it, so Fury Strat is just through by 1/100ths of a second.
Yeah, Fury scrapes through by the skin of his teeth there, mate, ahead of the Stig. And Suicide 5, Nick Magoo, Brad Tay, and Apache Franks, the 5 we're losing here out of Q1. But these weather conditions can throw up anything, mate. We almost lost Fury and Nahama there, who are, two very quick drivers in this division.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good to have Roscoe Arm back after a week off.
A hiatus.
2 weeks off. A little break last week for him, unfortunately. Couldn't make it to the race, but good to have him back on circuit, back into the top 10. He hasn't really had a clean run of things when he's been on the circuit, Moose. The last time he had a good race would have been Canada, and he won that one. So he's got pace. He's just had a bad run of form recently.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. You know, drivers can go through some really good and some really bad form as they progress through the season, as we're seeing here in this tier 2 competition.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more, mate. And I'm someone who knows all about a bit of bad luck this season, but it can turn around at any time.
Who knows a bit about bad luck? You or me?
See all of the above?
Yeah.
It's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring. I'm not going to sing that, but it's a 5-star hello to you, sir.
I kind of feel like you did.
I did, but I didn't. I saved all the viewers the pain of having to listen to me try and put that out as some sort of harmony or beat. It's a sacrifice, isn't it?
Well, it definitely is. And mate, I feel like we've been. What have we been? We've been coerced into talking about zingers with Macintosh's post. Have you tried the new hot and spicy?
I haven't had KFC in a while. Maybe me and Whitey would go and get it.
What?
I haven't had KFC in about a month, mate.
G'day, Venti. How are you?
Yes, hello to you, Venti. It looks like it's even wetter here, mate.
Oh, wetterer.
In Q2. It's wetterer here in the Q2 section.
So moist.
Probably. It's proper moist here in the mountain.
The hot and... It's not even hot and spicy. It's hot and crispy, and it's not the best.
You wouldn't give it a recommendation?
No. It's definitely not worth the KFC Zinger Box Driver of the Day, that's for sure.
Well, speaking of KFC Zinger Box Driver of the Day, mate, let's say it every week, but if anyone from the Colonel is watching, hook us up. We give you guys that much promotion.
We're not giving out cheap plugs for nothing. We're just asking for a little sponsorship.
We're not asking for much, just for a year's supply of Zinger Burgers for everyone in the league.
Oh, they would go out of business with me. I'll be fair.
If you could have one meal for the rest of your life, Moose, what would it be?
Sorry, mate, what was that?
If you could have one more meal for the rest of your life, would it be a KFC Zinger Box? You better say yes.
Yeah, look, it'd be right up there with a large double quarter pounder meal.
Ah, there you go. Cheating with the Colonel, but that's alright.
Yeah.
Oh, we're ridiculous.
So, right, Ty Star, I'm going to flat out tell you that you did not win KFC Driver of the Day yesterday. Someone would have voted for you about 55 times for you to win that. And I'm still very, very stiff on not winning Driver of the Day yesterday.
Yes, Imola is delayed, Mount. Imola is delayed.
No amount of extra salt on my chips can make me less salty about that.
Speaking of Driver of the Day, you can vote anytime throughout the night. Please only vote once, or else your votee might be excluded from the results going forward. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if you've heard, Moose, but Imola's going to be delayed a couple of weeks. So there was going to be 2 patches. They're just going to be merged into one and delayed for a couple of weeks, which is a bit of a shame, but it should be in time for round 16 of the championship.
That's quite alright with me, as I'm not a big fan of Imola anyway. But I said that about Portimao, and I ended up loving Portimao.
Trust me, mate, it's an absolute cracking circuit to drive.
Pun intended?
Oh yeah, definitely. But we're on board with Fury, not Kraken.
Aha! I see what you did there.
Miles out at the source.
Yes, he is. I'm not sure if he's had a parang. I'll try and jump on board with someone that's going to give me a look. And yes, he's out. Oh, wow. He's in the wall hard as well. That did not look good. If the medical team can update us on his condition.
Would be good. It's always good to make sure the drivers are okay.
That'd be greatly appreciated.
If I control...
I can hear some issues with your controller, mate, so...
It just, isn't responding, mate, so we're just stuck on board with Fury Strut at the moment while I try and figure this out.
Well, if it's any consolation, you are a little bit, you are breaking up quite a lot in my headset. So do with that information what you will.
Just troubleshooting over here, mate.
As we are on board here with Mr. Fury Strat, and conditions out there are looking absolutely horrendous at the moment. It is raining much harder than it was here in Q1. This is Q2, normally the most strategic of sessions, but Fury Strat's posted a 155.8 for his first crack at it. Nat Hammer coming through, Dino coming through, he's gone with a 154.7, so times are a couple of seconds slower here, but that just is indicative of these conditions looking so much worse than they were. As we've got another spinner at turn 1 there, and it's Flourish Expire, who I think has managed to keep it out of the wall, unlike Niles.
Yeah, mate, I'm still troubleshooting the controller.
No worries, you do what you need to do, and I'll keep the viewers at home company. As I'm on board here with Darkness Abyss, he's just coming around the bus stop chicane now, opens the car right up, and comes across the line for a 155.3. I did mention Flourish Expire, spun out, so jump on board here with Kyotonic. He comes across, only can manage 11th fastest with a 156. So, mate, that's pretty much round 1 of all of these drivers. I would assume that they will all stay out on this set of intermediate tyres. So at the moment, the slowest 5 drivers are Flourish Expire, Miles, Nat Hammer, Absolute, and Kyotonic. And, mate, there's some big names in that bottom 5 currently. Miles will not go again as he's crashed out.
Yeah. Miles on reserve. We know how quick he is.
And
Jumped on board with Nat Hammer. All sorted here, mate. So we're back. We've got the action back underway on the stream.
Dino is going very, very slowly indeed. I'm not sure if he's had an issue. Oh, he's reversing. Don't reverse on the track, fella. And he's just doing everything he can to stay out of the way here. And he's got a lot to do, as he's probably in the busiest part of the track at the moment. And he might have navigated it perfectly, just waiting for his teammate to come through. Geez, he's done very well to not get himself disqualified there, mate.
Dino showing his class after the spin. Still up on first position at the moment. Nat Hammer stays 13th. But yeah, times are a little bit slower here in the session. Just it's a bit wetter out there, mate. So obviously they're not going quite as fast.
I wouldn't be surprised if we potentially saw a bit of full wet running in Q3.
Yeah, if it continues on this trend, Moosey, you could be spot on.
As we are seeing Dino going very, very slowly indeed. Not quite sure if he's got some problems in that Ferrari.
I think he's just trying to stay off the line here for Darkness.
Yeah.
Who's exiting the final corner to set his lap time. Oh, we're getting all Hayward. Maybe he'll go again here for the Alpine outfit.
So it's worth mentioning also, mate, Flourish Expire has invalidated 3 laps now. The 2 he's already done and the 1 he's currently on, all invalidated. So he's not having it all his own way out there either.
That's it, mate. Skate, thank you, mate. Hope you're going well. Cheers, appreciate it. But yeah, Flourish Expire struggling in this session, mate. You've just got to get lap time, just get consistently pumping lap times, Moose, and you'll find the time over the session.
Well, that's exactly it, mate. These intermediate tyres, the wear on them is ridiculously low. So you can pretty much pump in 7 or 8 really decent laps before the lap times will start to fall away.
Yeah, well, we saw that at Turkey this week with Esteban Ocon doing the entire race on one set of inter-slicks. They were by the end of the race, mate.
Yeah.
But yeah, they last a long time.
Let's talk about Turkey, mate. Good call, bad call, Mercedes.
I think they made the call too late. They it's apparent that they're trying to do the no stop like Ocon did, but I think they were a bit worried that what happened to Leclerc was going to happen. His lap times just dropped off massively before he pitted. So it was an unknown. It was a risk. However, it was probably the right call to bring him in. However,
but having said that, with Lewis saying that he felt very comfortable with the car, yes, he has.
Same place as Nick Magoo in Q1, mate, up there at Malmedy. Another big swinger out of qualifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, Merc
with Lewis saying that he felt good in the car, would you have left him out there and kept track position? Because at the end of the day, the overtake still had to be made. So I reckon Mercedes have actually mucked that up, and they should have left him out.
Yeah, I reckon they made the mistake of not bringing him in earlier on, when Perez did. However, once they were sort of committed to that, they should have just stayed with it instead of calling him in with 8 laps to go. I think that was a mistake as well. So Mercedes just not having their best day, but and a good day in the championship for Max and myself supporting Max. It's a good day down here in the Sanderson household.
Yeah. I think Max is still a bit green to win the championship. I think that was proven, well and truly proven in Italy, where he didn't even make sure Lewis was okay. He just sort of said, "That's what you get," and walked off. So I think Max is still a little bit green and not quite mature enough to win the championship just yet.
We'll wait and see, won't we, Moose?
Well, that's exactly right. Do you know what? I'll even have a cheeky Zinger box bet with you for Lewis versus Max in the championship.
Oh, all right. You're on, mate.
All right, virtual handshake.
If Max wins, handshake, mate. Everyone's heard it here. Everyone in the stream. I get a Zinger box when Max wins the championship.
No, you don't. I get a Zinger box when Lewis wins the championship.
All right, mate. Settle down.
don't get me wrong. I'm not a Hamilton supporter by any stretch of the imagination. So all these people that are going to come in and say, "Oh, he's kissing Hamilton's ass," I actually don't give a shit. I hope Ricciardo wins the championship, but.
Yes, I would like to see Ricciardo win, but maybe next year. Who knows what's going to happen next year,
McLaren, mate. It will not happen in a McLaren.
I don't agree. I don't disagree with you because I think it will be Lando for that team. But honestly, next year anything could happen with the new regs, the new cars. Who knows who's going to be the leading team or teams? It's going to be great to watch.
Especially with all the budget caps that are already in place, and someone's going for the soft compound tyre. Not sure about that. Tyre tonic.
I think it's a bit early. He could end up like his teammate if he puts those on. Might
still be a bit slippy out there, I would have thought. But we're seeing a few of these blokes going for the full wet tyre now. So definitely confirming what we were saying, and that is that the rain has progressively been getting heavier. Here at Spa-Francorchamps.
Yeah, it is. It's proper wet here now. They're gonna have to do one hell of a lap to get up there. But Flourishing Spy, who's no slug, mate, he's quick, and he set the last lap time we've seen, and it was way down in the 57s there versus a 54.5 there for Tabbed earlier on. So it's not exactly coming to them, the circuit. It's going away from them. And again, early lap times count here, Moose.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right, as we've seen with Mr. Fury Strat. Because I'm going to assume that a lot of these blokes aren't going to improve, and Fury Strat will be inside the top 10. However, he will start 10th, having crashed out.
Yeah, and it's going to be a free tyre choice for all of them for the race, mate. Because we're on the Inters here for Q2. But we're going board with Absolute now. In the AlphaTauri, we'll watch him tour us around the 7 kilometres and 4 metres of the Spa circuit.
Wouldn't that be? Wouldn't Absolute be a huge casualty in this Q2 session?
He would be, mate. But you can't count him out for the race. It's going to be a long 22 laps around this circuit, and as we saw last night, anything can happen. Especially if there's a big accident, La Source, which could well and truly happen. Cracking parks in the pit lane. Never
mind La Source. You just, as we saw last night, they've got to get off the line first.
Yeah, that's right. Your teammate Shaz didn't make it 4 grid slots in front of him.
No,
he was in the wall and out.
He struggled, and I was in a party with him, and he used some language that's probably not suitable for our viewers at home. But I benefited from it very well. I ended up in 8th at the end of all that carnage. So.
That's it, mate. It was chaos to say the least. We got another question in the chat. They've been talking drivers, mate. They've been talking junior category drivers. Who do we want to see in that Alfa Romeo seat, or who do we think's going to get it? I think Guan Yu Zhou is going to get it just because of that Chinese cash. But obviously, I'd love to see Piastri get that seat, but unlikely, I'd say. Don't you reckon, Moose?
Sure. I'd actually heard murmurs that potentially a Alexander Albon was going there.
He's signed for Williams for next year, mate, so he'll be back in the sport.
When did that happen?
About a month or so ago.
Shit. Well, you heard it here first, folks.
You heard it here first to the OSRL lads. Alexander Albon is back.
Yeah,
good
great.
stuff here.
It's absolute.
Yeah, I think he was trying to set up another lap, mate, because he wasn't improving. J-Max, Matt Kushta, Mirakunda, and Pereira. Thank you for the follow, guys. Appreciate it.
You've done well
watching, the last one, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not good with names, Moose. Qualifying's over. We hit 0 on the timing screens, and Nat Hammer coming into the pit lane. He was trying it on the wets. Not good enough for him there. It's just too wet at this point.
Yeah, there's a couple of big casualties in this Q2 session, as we will lose Miles, who did crash out. We'll lose Flourish Expire. We'll lose one of the Haas in Nat Hammer. So big casualty there. Kyotonic will be out also because he's not making anything happen on the timing screens. And Absolute, another big casualty, mate, with that spin there at the end. That's probably going to, it's definitely cost him another lap around this Spa circuit.
Yeah, Milligan's just sneaked through, mate, because he's actually the 10th fastest.
Oh, wow, and he's around.
Yes, he is, mate. Furious time was faster than him, however, he did crash out, so drops him to 10th. But yeah, Milligan sneaks in by 1 position ahead of his teammate Absolute, and there's only a couple tenths in it. But that doesn't matter now because he's through.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and we'll include Mr. Fury Strat in the drivers eliminated because he will not be taking part in Q3, having crashed out. But mate, I think we're going to be full wet here for Q3.
I reckon, mate. At least for the start of it, if it's going to be like the conditions we're seeing right now. And yes, it was. If we turn back to the drivers who won F3 and F2 in successive years, Moose, it was George Russell and Charles Leclerc, and Oscar Piastri's on to achieve that. And I think that just speaks to the calibre of his talent and why he deserves an F1 seat. We see Darkness, mate, spinning where Absolute did at the final corner.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure why Absolute's continued on with that lap.
He's already under AI when the lap started, so just driving him around. We're just waiting for Dino to get back to the garage. There you go. Hashtag Ask Moosey, hashtag Ask Deezy. Danny Rick will take Carlos' seat at some point. He's stolen it at Renault and stolen it at McLaren. Will it happen again? Well, it was more him. It was actually more Carlos vacating those seats. He moved to McLaren from Renault and moved to Ferrari from McLaren, and Danny Rick just followed in his wake after he left Red Bull for personal reasons. Let's call it that.
Yeah, we'll call it personal reasons, but I would actually be stoked to see Danny Rick in another championship potential winning car.
Sure would, mate. Who knows what could happen next year? McLaren could be
that's exactly right.
They could be 3 seconds off the pace as well. The beauty of suspense and time.
Do you know what? Haas have put nothing into this season in hoping to get a head start for next season. I still think Haas are going to be the slowest car on the grid next year.
They well and truly could be, mate. It's still chucking it down here at the start of Q3. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, mate, because obviously they've sacrificed this season. The car is the same as last year's, which was an absolute pile of dog
trash.
And yeah, it was absolute garbage, and they've basically just cut off a bit of the floor to make it comply with this year's regulation, which is probably just made it even worse moose. So I really do feel for Mick having to drive that car. Nikita not so much because he bought his way into the seat, so he can suffer the pain of driving that absolute dog of a car. But I hope they get back up, because I don't think the team or the Haas ownership is going to last much longer if they can't get back to some sort of competitive stage. Because if you can just get back to where sort of Alfa Romeo is right now, just at the bottom of the midfield, that might be enough to keep them interested. But hopefully it's not separate packs. Hopefully everyone's within half a second next year, Moose. And, well, wouldn't that make a championship fight just even more spicy?
Well, it certainly would, and we've seen in the F1 series Drive to Survive that Gene Haas has, he's threatened to pull out a couple of times. So really, how much can you keep throwing money at a Formula One team before it just becomes a waste of money? So yeah, I think if Haas are no good come next year with these regulation changes, I think Gene Haas really looks at his position in the Formula One paddock.
Yeah, well, sometimes that can be just a marketing strategy, mate. Everything can be called a marketing strategy in this day and age. To get a bit of attention to the team, maybe draw some sort of sponsorship. But
all right. Well,
yeah.
if that's how that works, OSRL is going to go on strike next week unless we hear something from KFC.
Well, we're going on strike anyway, mate, because we've got a week off.
But they didn't know that. They didn't know that. I was going to use that
cut it out of the stream. I'll cut it out of the stream, Moosey. Yeah.
There'll be no racing next week unless we hear from KFC.
I love it. Someone clip it, put it on Twitter, tag KFC Australia.
Yeah. Hashtag DZ and Moosey podcast.
Hashtag anti-vaxxers, hashtag vegans.
Ooh. I don't know.
Hashtag Kraken's on a lap, let's watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the source he comes, and it's definitely going to be a lift here, down up through Radion, because it is full wet conditions. And there
Shit,
is
are you
the lift.
vegan?
No, I'm not vegan.
Oh.
Mate, I love Zinger burgers, mate. What do you think? We talk about Zinger boxes every week. Moose, I worry for you sometimes.
It took me a second, and I'm like, why is he saying hashtag vegan?
Just because they get trending on Twitter, mate.
Only because they're idiots. Anyway, we won't go any further into that.
Yeah, let's not get too political / controversial.
Yeah, that's very controversial, that statement.
Yeah. Let's look at Kraken, mate. Coming through Puon now, and you can just absolutely see how much slower the cars are in these conditions. They're going to be, around a 57, probably the lap times here.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. There's conditions looking very, very tricky out there indeed, and it's worth mentioning that you probably want to stay off all the ripple strips and all the lines out there, because they'll probably flick you around pretty quick in these conditions.
Yeah, that's it, mates. And flicking around, well, you can flick someone's political statements right around in their face, mate. We just can't avoid the politics here in the box. And Volt's hello to you, mate. Unfortunately, no McLaren's in the top 17, mate. Both down there as Urban drops a 10 bomb.
Oh,
Urban,
my man! My man's in the party again!
That's it. Urban Scyther dropping 10 subs. Legend as Kraken sets a 56-6.
I'll tell you what, mate. That's going to take some beating.
It sure will. Darkness doesn't... Well, he doesn't get too far off. About 6-7 tenths back. Dino's coming to the pit lane. So it's going to be Tab, who's looked the quickest all night in these wet conditions! Oh! The commentator's curve strikes again. He gets over the line to get up in the second, mate. He's doing it in style, mate. Style points aren't worth anything here in terms of lap time, but well, it looks certainly pretty cool.
He only Tab could go sideways across the start-finish line and go second.
That's it, mate. Here comes Roscoe. It's been the fourth lap time of the session. Once again, Urban, thank you for the subs.
Oh, my man.
Your man, Urban Swither, mate. As a Roscoe, beats cracking there, mate. So
I'll tell you what, mate.
Roscoe,
I really miss calling Urban every week. I really do.
He's a great name to call.
You need to do something for me to just get me into the tier 1 for just 1 week. You need to get me in there so I can scratch that itch.
That's it. Maybe we'll just have to kick Urban back to tier 2, mate.
That'll go down well.
Anything can be arranged here.
That'll go real well.
Milligan's got up into third.
He did, but correct me if I'm wrong. I reckon it's started to lighten up a bit this race.
Yeah, it has. It certainly has, mate. We're getting to see the inters, and I reckon that's why a couple of these guys are boxed, mate. They're thinking, well, what's the point? If we're going to go faster on a steady inters, we might as well get underway with it.
Yeah, too right.
Darkness is actually out of fuel, mate, on his way back to the pit lane. So he's going to have a long think about his next lap time as he just slowly comes down towards Blanchimont.
Yeah.
But who's going to take pole here? It could well and truly be the case of the one who crosses the line last, as they will probably get the best conditions if it continues to lighten up here, Moose, which it certainly has since we loaded into this Q3 session.
Yeah, I'm just looking at a comment from Tystar in the chat. Why would I have a rash? Have I said something that I would have a rash? Am I itchy?
Guys, when the October update coming, well, there's speculations that it's gonna be a couple weeks delayed, unfortunately. So maybe the latter part of October Mythics. But hello to you, mate. Hope you're going well. Hopefully we'll get that along with Imola and these custom liveries that we're going to be getting, Moose, for some of the cars that we've seen. So it'll be the Red Bull, the McLaren, the Alpha Tower, so the Aston Martin. No, the Alfa Romeo. I got there eventually.
Yeah, definitely appears like it's definitely drawing out. Inters will be the fastest tyre here, and the first man on a lap will be Blue Dog, who's the only driver out there at the moment. So we will watch for Blue Dog's lap time with bated breath.
I think Darkness lagged out of the session, mate. So I don't know if he's joined back, mate. I can't send him an invite. It says he's still in the session, so strange.
Well,
Darkness, let us know. He might still be in. Hopefully he still is, because he's not going to have much time to get back in and get out on the inters. I reckon the Ferraris, or at least the Blue Dog, is going to have at least a couple of laps here if he's fielded up, and that might well get him a couple of positions. Yes,
we did mention in Q1 that he was looking very, very quick.
Yeah, he put that good lap time in when he came out on the inters, so maybe living with the conditions. I know Blue Dog does love a little bit of the moist conditions of the track.
Bit of moisture. Through our Rouge into Radion, and he doesn't really lift through there, mate, as I've clearly had a stroke halfway through that sentence.
I've got a speech impediment, mate.
Yeah.
So, coming through the Lake Colm chicane here comes Blue Dog as we ride alongside the helmet here in the cockpit as he works the wheel through Malmedy, and now onto the brakes, trying to rotate the car in these understeery conditions down the hill as Darkness gets back into the session. Blue Dog coming through No Name, not running it too wide, doesn't want to invalidate. Probably lost a little bit of time there on the exit. A little bit squirrely through the entry part of Puon there, Moose, as he's just trying to find the limit.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to find the limit, and thus far in the lap, he's definitely right on that limit. As you did mention, he has been a little bit squirrely, but he is definitely setting some decent sector times at the moment.
Two, mate.
Yeah,
he's gone in that magenta sector in the middle. And he's got one more to go towards the bus stop, running very wide there through Curva Paul Frere. not really much of a corner, but Blue Dog taking interesting lines here, trying to
Yeah.
extract the maximum of the car. And now the bus stop chicane to go. And he takes a lot of that curb like we saw him earlier on, trying to rotate the car through the use of a bit of airtime. And exits the final corner, puts the power down, goes to the line. It's going to be P1. It's a 55.5 for Blue Dog. It's a lot of fives, mate. I like that.
Yeah. Having said that, Roscoe's time was on the wet compound tyre, so maybe Blue Dog not lighting the screens up like we thought he might on the intermediate tyre.
Yeah, Roscoe's on the inters. I think he's just starting his lap now, mate. I think it was an out lap that he's just finished. Who's that?
No, but that lap time from Roscoe was set on the wet tyre.
Oh, yeah, I get you now. It's
Aha.
probably still close to the crossover. We'll wait and see, mate. We can only wait and see. Kraken's just getting going out of the final corner. So who's the furthest one around? It's going to be Dino. The other Ferrari coming through the campus chicane.
So Darkness Abyss will not take any further part in this session. He is still in the pits. And
That's unfortunate for him.
It's probably a good 2 minutes that you need for an outlap around here.
Especially in these conditions.
Yeah, maybe even a little bit more than that.
2.5 minutes, you probably budget it. You don't want to be leaving it too late, especially if you are in a Q1 session where there's 20 drivers out on the track. There could be a bit of a car park at the bus stop.
Absolutely.
But into the bus stop comes Dino.
Yeah, if he has got enough fuel on board, he'll get another run at it too.
Yeah, the fuel light's not blinking, so he
Milligan.
should be okay. The fuel light's not on, so he should be okay here. So Dino, a 54.9, goes over half a second quicker than his teammate. And the next one coming through is M. Stone in the Williams, getting a little bit wayward there at the exit of the final corner. Where's he going to go? Up into second, a 55.3. That's his qualifying over. Crazy Kiwi goes into the 54s, a 54.5. But you'd say Milligan and Dino have got the best of the track conditions. They're going to be the last ones around. Here comes Blue Dog for his second lap on these inters. Can he get back onto the front row? No, he can't. Goes behind his teammate Dino. Roscoe, what can he do? A second with a final sector purple. Only enough for second here. So a flick back towards Tab, who's looked quick all night, Moose. Yeah,
that he has. And it's also worth mentioning, Dino is about 2/10 up in the first sector. Tab lighting up those timing screens as well. He's improving. Milligan's just behind Dino there. So it's all still well and truly to play for here. Kraken just coming into the bus stop chicane. Not sure if he's improving too much.
It's 2 seconds up, mate.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's at
53.7.
That is a impressive.
That's a great lap. A very good lap time there. Back to Tabbed. He's 2 seconds up in the middle sector as well. And that's going to put him on course to find the time of Kraken if he can find a bit of time here in the final sector. But yeah, 9 cars here in Q3, 1 crashed out in Q2, but was fast enough to qualify for Q3 on time. But where's Tab going to qualify here for the start of this race, Moose? Can he get to pole position?
Yes, he
can. Good lap
so
there from Tabbed.
Just showing that whoever's last on track is having the best of these conditions.
I reckon Dino's going to steal it here.
And Dino goes only up into third. What can Milligan's do? I don't think
he got that high. I think he's around 7th or 8th is Milligan's. We'll wait and see, but Tab gets pole again. And yeah, Milligan's in 5th, so not too bad. But
yeah,
it's going to be a long race, but obviously you want to be starting as far up as you can. So Tabbed gets pole position from Kraken and Dino 420 fam. And then Crazy Kiwi, Milligan's, Roscoe, Blue Dog, M Stone, and Darkness Abyss. So that's qualifying. It's almost time for the race. Back in 2 seconds, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Spa, ladies and gentlemen, here for the Oceania Series Racing League. It is round 11 of the Tier 2 Championship around this magnificent Spa-Francorchamps circuit here in Belgium, where we're going to see 22 laps of action-packed racing, hopefully. Over the 102 metres of elevation change, the largest on the F1 calendar, where the drivers are going uphill and then plunging back down. Lowest part of the circuit, Spa, streams of the calendar, heavily featured 6 challenges for drivers in here. But here is the circuit, 7 lap cars, a series of qualifying laps. Down this back straight. Here's the two heats. Spa marks the lead as you can see. As the cars continue to advance into the sequence, takes the
But back onto the formation lap, Moose. Take us through tonight's grid.
Yeah, absolutely. We have on pole, we have Tabbed F1. He'll be joined on the front row by Kraken. Third position to Dino 420 fam. P4 for Crazy Kiwi. Milligains P5. VSR Roscoe Arm P6. Blue Dog P7. M Stone P8. Darkness Abyss P9. Mr. Fury Strat in there in P10. Absolute in P11. Kyotonic P12, Nat Hammer P13, Flourish Expire P14, M Miles in P15, The Stig P16, Suicide 5 in 17th, Nick Magoo in 18th, and Brad Tay and Apache Franks will round out the 10th row of the grid, mate.
Yes, they will, mate. So a lot of soft tyres. It's going to be Kraken and Dino up there at the pointy end of the field on the medium compound. And then going all the way down to 8th for M Stone, Nat Hammer in 13th, Miles in 15th, and the back three on the grid, Nick Magoo, Brad Tay and Apache on those medium tyres. The rest are on the soft. So Tubbs is going to have to try and run away here at the start because he's going to have to box earlier than those around him. An early safety car could play into his hands, however, mate. As we come around the bus stop chicane, the 20 drivers to line up on the grid, Moose, and it's all going to be in your hands for the start. Ahead of the 22 laps for the Belgium Grand Prix. What's going to happen? Who's going to win? Let us know your predictions. It could be any one of these 20 drivers. We have seen absolute chaos around this circuit before, and I think we will once again as Apache Franks lines up, Moose, and it's all in your hands.
Thank you, sir. This is the Oceania Series Racing League, and this is the Belgium Grand Prix for Tier 2. Welcome to all of our viewers at home, as we have one light, we have three, we have 5, and it is lights out, and we are underway here. Good start from the front too. Dino 420 fam also getting a very, very nice start indeed. What we'll be doing into turn 1 here all looks very, very nice indeed. As Crazy Kiwi Milligains going side by side up through where the two Force Indias touched a couple of years ago. Contact! And puts Crazy Kiwi into the wall. Doesn't do too much. But Darkness Abyss going to come through as well. VSR Roscoe looking very interested. Also, Blue Dog there. But look at this. They're 3 wide down the back straight, sorry. As VSR Roscoe getting past there. And Blue Dog looking to come around the side. Contact again on the side pod of Blue Dog. And, mate, it is all looking rather casual as apart from a few
They're
little...
still 3-4 wide here at the back, Moose.
Yeah, absolutely they are. And it is all to play for. These midfield or rear to the midfield guys, they're so close together. as we're seeing the Stig just come out, get himself a little bit of clean air, trying to get a move done on Flourish Expire. They're still so close to each other, mate. The Haas has gone all right there, as Kyotonic under all sorts of pressure. Flourish Expire trying to launch one up the inside, nothing doing. And, mate, they're all within touching distance of each other. No quarter given at all.
They are pushing each other around this first lap. Kyotonic gets a little bit wide there. Could that open up to Flourish in the bus stop? They're all going to have so much slipstream off of each other. It's a one big DRS train all the way from the front to the back here. And we've managed to get around the first lap with all 20 facing the right way. And no real drama as Kyotonic absolutely sends it up the inside and collects his teammate. He's absolutely sent it and collected his teammate.
They've all parked. So Fury Strat, Kyotonic, Nathammer, absolute. They've all hit each other coming out of the bus stop chicane there, mate. And they're full wide around turn one. And, mate, it is all happening here. Absolute's going to get a great run. Nick Magoo getting interested as well. But as you were saying, mate, they're all pushing each other up through Radion and Eau Rouge. As someone runs a little bit wide there. It is Kyotonic who's going to get absolutely swallowed down the back straight. And look at them fighting for position down there. All the way down to Apache Franks is interested in this battle.
Oh, this is beautiful, mate. Darkness sneaks past Dino, mate. In front, and Milligage is challenging Kraken here. Milligage with the softs, trying at the inside of Brachel's, and then they're still side by side through name contact. Kraken almost gets spun. Darkness follows the Alpha Terry through. Darkness is flying on these softs. He's up 6 positions here on lap 2.
Yeah, Darkness absolutely flying in a big way. A little bit further down, there was a heap of contact between a couple of the drivers running a little bit further down. I'm not sure. I'm not even going to speculate as to who I think it was. That'll only go down badly. But the pressure that Flourish Expire is putting on the back of Nathammer right now. Kraken has spun. And can he stay out of the way as Flourish Expire has got a great run here on Nathammer and gets that move done up into 9th position. But, mate, there is battles aplenty out there at the moment.
Mate, this is absolutely insane what we're seeing. Penalties are already coming in here for the drivers. Tabbed has a 3-second lead after the first 2 laps. He's sprinting out in front of the rest of the field.
Yeah, that he is, and he's looking very comfortable, and he'll be able to look after those soft compound tyres and try and just eke them out a little bit further than a lot of these guys that are potentially fighting a bit further back.
Here we go, mate. The DRS active for the first time. Who's that? Blue Dog into the wall hard. He's out. That was a massive crash at the top of Radion, and that is going to be a virtual safety car for the moment. That was huge.
Yeah, it looked big. He's crashed exactly where I crashed last night, unfortunately, for the lad. And I can't believe we haven't got a full safety car here, mate.
Yeah, I'm baffled here, mate. That was absolutely massive. So,
mate,
could the medical team give us an update on his condition?
Exactly
that
right.
was absolutely huge.
But mate, while we're taking a breath, congratulations, because I reckon that is our best first lap of the season.
That was absolutely insane, mate.
Mate, I needed a minute after that first lap.
Back underway, drive-throughs for Nick Magoo, back under the blue flags. And, well, it was an insane first lap. I'm surprised we got through it. It was like a 5-lap lobby moose. They're all absolutely going for it. No quarter given, but just enough respect. And it yielded an absolutely brilliant show for us to watch. Milligains has closed in under the virtual safety car. Tabbed has lost a second or two there. Not quite getting the VST restart correct.
I'm not sure if Nathammer's got a bit of damage, mate, but he's an absolute boat in a straight line as the Stick and Absolute are both well and truly lining him up right now.
Here we go. Can we see him move into the bus stop on one or the other? Yep, he comes down the inside. Absolute. Looking up the inside of the Williams, around the outside. He's going to hold on to the position. You can't defend there on the outside. He's pushing him. Speaking of pushing, at the front, Darkness now with the DRS. He was going to have it last time, but interrupted by the Ferrari of Blue Dog, spearing into the wall quickly. Can't even put a move on our championship leader. No, who is that? Tabbed F1!
Tab
Our
is,
race leader!
he's really gone into that wall hard, and now he's an absolute sitting duck getting swallowed like, well, I can't say that on stream, but he's absolutely got swallowed down that back straight by about 10 drivers, and that is a costly mistake as Milligains has inherited the lead of this race.
That is a big, big mistake there from Tab. Pushing hard out in front, pushing a little bit too hard, apparently, Moose, and he's lost it at the top of Radion.
Yeah, that he has. I don't think he's got any front wing damage, though. It does look like his front wing has survived that incident.
Yeah, well, we'll go on board with him. He looks to still be pushing flat out, so maybe he just had some sort of spin and managed to keep it out of the wall, but what he has is lost 11 positions and a whole lot of time with it. The Alpine of Darkness Abyss looks super quick through the middle sector, mate, but just doesn't have the legs down the straight on Milligains. But he's pushing now, mate, with the ERS towards Blanchimont for the lead of the race. Maybe he'll look at the bus stop, maybe he'll just try and hang on for the Kemmel Straight on what will be lap 5, just staying behind for now. These two are on the softs. They've got to try and push together to get away from Dino, break away from the slipstream, because if Dino can stick there, he's in a beautiful position for later on in this race.
Oh, absolute chucks one down the inside of the Stig, and the Stig just dances his way back around the outside and hangs on to that 9th position. Great defending there from Stig.
Lovely, mate. Staying with the race lead here on the stream. It's 2:10 as they go through El Rouge and rising up the climb at Radion. The DRS is going to open for Darkness Abyss here. He's going to move to the left-hand side of the straight. No, he's being defended by the AlphaTauri, so he's going to have a run down the inside at Lake Cobb. Moves back onto the racing line ahead, and Darkness Abyss takes the lead, but he goes in deep.
Oh,
and that could cost him a warning.
Does he give that back? I reckon he's hung onto that by going off. Well, yeah, fair call.
No, he had it before. I think he just got in a bit deep there, but he's probably given himself a warning, mate, and he's already got a 3-second penalty for track limits, so, well, that's not going to do him any good for later on, but he leads the race at this point in time.
Yeah, mate, a little bit further back, I'll tell you what, Dino 420 fam getting really interested, and more importantly, he's on that medium compound tyre that'll just be starting to become into its own right now. As these softs will fairly shortly, I would have thought, start to drop away.
Yeah, 10 laps max, I'd say, on the softs here, mate. So they're probably going to be in 2 or 3 laps' time. So Dino's held on beautifully here on the mediums, and that's going to put him in great stead when he comes onto the softs around probably lap 13 to 15, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. The crossover point for the soft tyres, I know it was a little bit different conditions last night, but it was jeez, he has to get hard on the brakes there, Dino. The suggested pit stop was about lap 17 last night, mate, so you might have hit the nail right on the head.
Yeah, well, we shall wait and see, my friend. There's a huge train separated by just a couple of car lengths here down towards turn number 1. Tab's trying to make up for his earlier mistake and pass Absolute, but they're all just stuck together like glue at the moment, Moosey.
Yeah, that they are, and it's worth mentioning that Wall is we got a yellow
there's a spin at the top.
actually.
It's Flourish Expire, and he's not out, but he's lost a significant part of that car, mate, and Virtual Safety again, he's lost the entirety of that front wing, and it's going to be a long lap for him. Hopefully the VSC will be one a little bit longer than we saw before. Could anyone at the back take advantage of this? I think they've all passed the pit lane, however, and most of those guys have stopped already.
Yeah.
So if you have a look, everyone apart from Nick Magoo back there has made a stop. So Crazy Kiwi, Fury, and Suicide have made their pit stops already in this race, mate.
I'm just going to grab a charger for my controller, mate.
Yeah, no worries, mate. So still under the VSC here. Darkness leads for the first time this season, ahead of Milligains and Dino 420 fam, who is in a brilliant position at the moment. But still a long time to go. We're only 6 laps into 22. It feels like we've seen a whole race worth of action. We promise you action, and we are delivering here. These Tier 2 drivers are putting in an absolute show here. Unfortunately, a couple of incidents at the top of Radion, but easy to when you are pushing as hard as these guys are. And we just slowly await for them to get back underway. I think it's about to happen as they put their foot back down towards the floor. And no lift in sight, but we await the green flags to be waved here as they're coming towards the bus stop. And they're just slowly watching the Delta, so I think they've still got it on their screen because they've all just suddenly stopped, basically, mate. So they're trying to judge it. Here we go. We're back underway. Darkness falls into the pit lane, mate. So
yeah, it's going to hurt him as well.
Done. Dino, I think, got an illegal on VSR Roscoe there for some sort of reason, and that's cost him a bit of time because he's now fallen outside of that 1 second window. 2 milligains in front.
Yeah, that's you hit the nail on the head there.
He's lost a good 2 seconds there, Dino.
I'm not sure that VSR Roscoe was ahead of Dino before that though.
No, he wasn't. But I think when they were checking each other up for the bus stop, Roscoe went in alongside the Ferrari and might have just edged ahead slightly. And you know how this game is, just playing its funny tricks. But the Stig passes Nathammer on the Camel, and looking in the background, there could be 2x2 here into the chicane. Nihas is still alongside Absolute there, and could Tab take advantage of this as he could get down the inside at Brochel's here. He's going to look for it a little bit later on. The brace goes Nathammer, but the inside line falls to Tab, but it will turn for the outside here at No Name, and the Haas is going to hold on to the position.
Yeah, too right, and mate, I think those softs have just started to go off a little bit as Dino on that medium has caught Milligains already by about 6 or 7 tenths on this lap. So the soft tyres have just gone away a little bit, I feel.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see. Darkness has come out in a little bit of fresh air, not too much. He's got 2 seconds of it behind the Mercedes of Brad Tay, who started on those mediums. And Slim Slug and Ori, thanks for the follows, guys. Appreciate it. Lap 7 of the race here around Belgium. And we're on board with Roscoe Arm here, who's on that soft compound, so it won't be too long until we'll see him in the pit lane. He's chasing down Dino 420 fam.
Yeah, I'm a little bit further back than you, mate. I'm on board with Crazy Kiwi. He's just fighting Kyotonic here for what is P14. He did get a little bit twitchy out of that corner though, and he's just lost probably a tenth. But he does look to have amazing top speed in that Mercedes at the moment. But not quite close enough to launch one into the bus stop chicane.
Kyo pulls into the pit lane, mate, so he vacates the premises. But it's on the back of them, Nick Magoo and
this run. And Fury. What a run by VSR Roscoe. I'm sorry to cut you off there, mate. He's just he's done a number there on Dino 420 fan for P2.
There you go, up the Camel, mate. So the soft's hanging on for now. The DRS doing the job for the man in the Red Bull along the Camel straight as Kraken's starting to close back up to this field here after his little incident earlier on. But we'll wait and see where Darkness comes out relative to the rest of them. He's come out 9 seconds ahead of Tabbed, who was in that sort of second train before the pit stops here. Yeah,
Kraken picking up a 3-second penalty, so I might just whip over to the penalty screen there, mate. Kraken with 6 seconds, Darkness Abyss with 3 seconds, Flourish Expire with 3 seconds, and Kyotonic with 12 seconds worth of penalties.
There you go. So penalties are a big deciding factor in these races, as you know, Moose. And Milligains really looks like he's struggling here. Roscoe's already closed up to the back of him through the middle part of the lap. And we're probably going to see these guys in shortly for a set of mediums. They're probably going to be undercut by Darkness here. But he's going to have to deal with a bit of traffic shortly. Yeah, I'm not sure if Milligains is just carrying a little bit and he's into the pits. Milligains into the box.
Roscoe does stay out. So not sure if Milligains has a little bit of damage or whether he just wasn't having things his own way on that tyre compound. But yeah, he was he wasn't a little bit slow. He was a lot slow compared to his normal pace.
Yeah, no front wing down at AlphaTauri, so if he has got damage, he's choosing not to fix it, but I suspect just struggling with the tyres. I think it's Kyotonic, mate.
It is Kyotonic, facing the wrong way.
Yeah, at the campus chicane there. Dino's going to try and come back on the Red Bull, but he's a little bit too far back on this occasion, so we'll flick backwards, mate. The Stig is trying to close in on Absolute. He's not close enough, so it's going to be Miles, mate, looking at the back of the McLaren of Apache Franks and down the Camel. But he's slowly closing in, but it's not quite enough when they come down to the braking zone for the Lake Com chicane.
Yeah, Apache Franks is really having a good race here. He did start absolutely plumb last in this race, and he's currently running P8.
Yes, he is. Milligains comes out behind Darkness Abyss, mate. So Darkness has pulled the undercut. Okay. However, he's not really gaining on Brad Say ahead. The thing for Brad Tay is he's got the DRS, and DRS is worth a hell of a lot of time down that Kemmel Straight,
Yeah,
mate.
isn't it what? It is absolutely worth a fortune in time as Crazy Kiwi gets himself another penalty. And it's worth mentioning, mate, that VSR Roscoe is absolutely... he's pulling out a decent gap here on Dino.
He's still got very good pace on these soft tyres, mate. He's only 3/10 off his best through the middle sector. Will we see him come in this lap? Yes, we will.
Yes, we will.
It's the tyres don't go bad here. It's more of a you just got to time it in terms of the traffic and the undercuts. So we'll see where he pops out relative to the others who have already pitted. Miles and Apache continue their battle down towards the first chicane, and the two net leaders at the moment in the background of the shot. And could they get involved? Darkness needs to snag a bit of DRS off Brad Tay here if he wants to stay ahead. And where's Roscoe? There he is in the picture. Comes out just behind Millie Gaines. So he hasn't lost out because he was behind already. So he's probably gained out of that.
Miles has got a great run here on Apache Franks. And Miles is absolutely going to breeze past. He doesn't even need the toe to get past Apache Franks. And
Millie Gaines gets past as well, mate.
That is move done for P5.
Move done for the net lead as well. Millie Gaines sneaks past Darkness Abyss.
As Kyotonic, I think, is around again.
And spun again at campus,
Same
mate.
spot.
So, same spot, different lap. Compare the pair. Same age, same corner.
Same income.
Same superannuation.
Contributions.
Yes, we love it. Same interest rate.
Ooh.
Speaking of interest rate, I'm getting very interested in this battle between Millie Gaines and Brad Tay, Apache Franks. Darkness is going to try and get a hold on to the back of Millie Gaines here, or else he's going to lose out big time with the lack of DRS.
Yeah.
DRS is very powerful. We saw two distinct trains, and we're seeing it again here, mate. We've got the one headed by Miles, and we've got the one headed by Absolute. So
as Kyotonic has retired in the pit lane.
Yes, he has, mate. He's had enough.
I think VSR Roscoe might have a look at launching one up the inside of Darkness here.
Speaking of launching up, Millie Gaines launches one up the inside of the Mercedes, and Brad Tay gets the job done through the bus stop. Darkness holds on.
Oh, look at Darkness's drive on Brad Tay.
Oh, he's going to look at the outside of the source. This can be a very good move if he can get it done.
Oh,
on
under
the brakes.
braking.
Can he hold on around the outside? He should get better traction on that outside line.
Move.
That is it is... Whoa, what's going on here?
What happened there? So, I tell you what's happened there, mate, is Kyotonic has been released by his pit crew onto the track. So he did retire in the pit lane, but he has been released out onto track.
Yeah, well, Darkness got the job done, but I think he had to yield the position to the Mercedes, who would have had to avoid that car coming out of the pit lane. So lucky all just to get through there without any significant damage. There's a big dive bomb down at Rochelle's there from Millie Gaines, gets past Apache Franks, and this is going to cost Darkness now that he got stuck behind for another lap, the Mercedes.
Yeah, but it's worth mentioning Millie Gaines definitely a lot more comfortable on this new set of mediums than he was on those softs. He's absolutely flying out there at the minute, even in traffic.
Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. And he's not too far behind the race leaders either. And it'll be a couple more laps before we see those who started on the mediums into the pit lane for their soft tyres. Safety car could spice things right up. And now that I've said that, Moose, we're probably going to get one.
Yeah, it always happens. As Millie Gaines really reeling in Miles here. And I think this might even happen. It's going to happen before the bus stop chicane, I would have thought.
Yeah, convincing move.
It does very convincingly happen. So he's got a lot of clean air ahead of him now, and everyone ahead of him has to pit.
Darkness around the outside of the bus stop chicane. And I'm going to steal a line off you, mate. That was an absolutely rip-snorting move there from Darkness Abyss.
Don't think I've ever said the phrase rip-snorting.
About one of my moves in Season 1. To be fair, it was a pretty rip-snorting move.
Oh. Was that the one that ended up on... was it the one that ended up on TikTok?
It's in the intro.
Ooh.
It was at France, man. I went around the outside of Sector 1, but
Oh.
we don't need to talk about me. Let's talk about these guys.
Your head's big enough as it is, mate.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is a big head.
The melon on top of your head's pretty large also. So
It's so big, but I'd still forget it on. Bit of loose there for Apache through No Name.
Yeah.
So it's just struggling a bit. She's struggling more than Milligains was to pass this traffic, and he's already lost 2 seconds to Milligains because of this. And that's the importance of
mate,
getting the
sorry to
job done.
cut you off. Kraken on M-Stone is looking more and more likely as Kraken has so much more speed than M-Stone at the moment. M-Stone defending very well though. But just the speed difference is so large that Kraken has got the move done on M-Stone. Mind you, M-Stone fighting it back. And he's touched his front wing.
Oh, did he hit the wall?
He has hit the wall, Kraken.
Has he got damage from that?
I would be shocked if he hadn't lost that left-hand end plate.
Hey, he went into that wall. Oh, they're almost 3 wide out of the bus stop, mate. Darkness getting past the McLaren, but he's going to fight back into turn 1 on the inside of the source. We saw Darkness go around the outside here a couple of laps ago. You just get better traction on that outside line, gets the job done, but now he's going to have to defend the DRS of Apache down the Kemmel Straight. Could VSI Roscrom get involved here? Could get a double overtake maybe, who knows?
Yeah, it looks like Roscoe will definitely get Apache. Although Apache's got a really nice toe here on Darkness Abyss. Apache goes to the inside, tries to outbrake. Little bit of rubbing between tyres. And Roscoe, all he can do is sit back and watch it and hope that Apache gets over snap, which he did.
Oh, there you
so
go.
Roscoe's going to dive down the inside and get that move done for P6.
Yeah. A well-judged move there from Roscoe, using his smarts, just sitting back while the other two battled, set up the exit out of Melbourne and got him down towards Brochelle. So good move there from Roscoe.
Yeah. Worth mentioning, mate, that Milligains is only 13 seconds off the back of Dino 420 fam right now. So he will well and truly inherit the lead of this race back. Having said that, Dino, M-Stone and those blokes, they will all be on much fresher and softer tyres towards the end of this race.
Mate, Kraken is storming through the field right now. Just got past tabbed at campus, and Dino is into the pit lane to respond to Kraken, but it might be a little too late. It was a 2-second difference between the two before the pit stops. As he is into the bus stop, goes Kraken, takes the move to Absolute and takes a position in the meantime. Is back up into 8th. He is fighting hard on these softs. Where is Dino going to come out? That is the question. We're coming on board with Kraken around the source. There is Dino. He's going to come out just ahead of the side by side with the Mercedes. He's going to lose out here, but
he'll have look at the pace. Look at
he's
the
going to be back in here.
It's,
they're going to rewind up the Kemmel Straight.
It's reminiscent of Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton a couple of years back. But look at that Haas. It's just danced around the outside. Kraken says, thank you very much. And Dino's lost out massively in that pit stop.
Yep, Dino just came out a little bit too close to Kraken, and Kraken took advantage of it down the Kemmel. He had an absolutely worldy run up at Radion and exited with so much speed onto the Kemmel Straight, Moose.
Yeah, that he did. And look at
already on the back of Darkness.
Yeah, look, and there's such a pace advantage here for especially Kraken, but Dino's on the back of him also. So I'm not sure if you're seeing it as well, but Darkness looks like he's just lagging a little bit as well. Probably not making the move any easier. But yeah, massive pace advantage in those soft compound tyres right now.
Yeah, he is. They are flying here. M-Stone is coming around the bus stop, probably coming into the pit lanes, that Williams, because he's going to lose these positions, being undercut by these softs, which are flying here, Moose. And to the bus stop we go. Can the Alpine hold on?
Oh, he's going to launch it down the inside.
That was an absolute send there from Kraken down the inside.
And tell you what, Dino's going to get interested on Darkness Abyss as well. And I think Dino will get it done around the outside. Does oh jeez, Darkness tried to squeeze him, but it is just an absolute golfing class between those two tyre compounds at the minute.
Yeah, they are flying, mate. He's going to have the DRS. He's just going to try and hold on now. He's going to struggle to get the move back. But maybe penalties can decide it later on. They're both closing up on Kraken. But I think it's going to be a little bit too much for Dino to achieve here down into the chicane in the background. Absolute goes past Brad Tay in the Mercedes. And Brad Tay yet to stop off of those mediums.
Yeah, these soft tyre runners, they're only... Mate, they're only 3 seconds off the lead of this race, so Kraken and Dino looking very, very good at the minute.
Yeah, they are.
Especially if we get a safety car.
The thing we've got to take into account is... they are fighting hammer and tong here, Moose. And Dino just tucks in behind. Kraken scores! Kraken's around!
And so is Suicide 5! Sorry, Darkness Abyss!
They're both around.
They both lost it on their own accord.
And so is VSR Roscoe.
Wow.
3 cars in one corner, mate, going around. Wow. Well, that's just opened the door for Dino.
Has that just won Dino this race? He's only 3 seconds off the lead. And
yeah, he has got a 3-second penalty, however, mate.
Nat Hammer must pit in this race still. Nat Hammer has not boxed.
And Nat Hammer's hanging out for a safety car. His teammate almost caused one there, Moose. But not this time around. But yeah, Kraken going around there at campus. So did Darkness, and so did VSR Roscoe. The three of them not enjoying those tyres they were on, or just getting into a bit of an incident. So up the front, Dino is flying. M Stone now is going to benefit out of that. After pitting late, he's coming past Tabbed F1 now on the Camel. It's not even close. It's easily job done there for the Williams man. Moves up into 5th.
Yeah, exactly right. And a little bit of lull in the action here as that move's been done. Probably the closest battle is between Nat Hammer and Dino 420 fam. As Milligains is just starting to check out up front as contact, and will that give Dino a little bit of maybe yellow damage on his front wing? Doesn't look like it at the moment, but they definitely touched. But the move ultimately was done, and Dino up into 2nd.
He's just going to try and chase down the Alpha Tauri now. He's got 6 laps at the end of this one to do it, Moose. And he's going to have to make up 5.5 seconds to win this race.
Where'd you get 5.5 seconds from?
Oh, he's got that 3-second penalty,
Dino.
Yes. So he's got to get past and extend 3 seconds. So, speaking of penalties, we'll bring him up, mate. Well, I was about to talk about that before Kraken went off. He had that 6 seconds. Not going to really matter now. It's 3 seconds for Dino. M Stone, Fury, Kiwi, Miles, Flourish, Roscoe, Nick Magoo, Darkness with 3, and Kraken has 6.
I could not have said it any better myself.
Dino's already eaten a second in half a lap.
He's absolutely flying, and once he gets within a second, we've seen how effective DRS is, and the toe is down that down the back straight, the Camel straight. It's just so powerful that I don't think it would be too much of an issue for him at all.
Yeah, we've just seen M Stone breezing past Absolute in the second of the Alpha Tauris.
I'm just going to bring up positional changes here for the lads at home. So big winners at the moment, we have Nat Hammer, who's up 10 positions. Having said that, has not boxed yet. So the big winner's probably the Stig out of all of that. He's currently up 9 positions. Big loser, unfortunately, is the Kraken in the Haas, who we were riding on board with when he... I'm not sure what he hit or whether he's just lost it of his own accord, but he did end up in the wall. So very unlucky there for the lad.
Here comes Dino, mate. He's in within a second now. He is eating up this gap, and he's gonna probably look to get it done next lap on the Camel Straight. If he can get close through the bus stop and the first corner at La Source, he can just brake so much later and carry so much more speed through these corners than the AlphaTauri on that medium compound. Yeah,
that he can, and it's probably 0.7 of a second that you need to get the move done down the Camel Straight, and he's well within that right now. Even with running a little bit deep there, he's well and truly close enough, I would have thought.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes for it, because he's got to get past and extend that gap. And it's not going to be easy to break the DRS of Milliganes, mate. You've got to consider that, because if Milliganes can just stay within the DRS for a lap or two...
Oh, look at this. As Milliganes moves to the inside to defend. Does it very, very nicely, in fact. And Dino will just... he'll really have to park the bus here unless he can find a way past.
A very good defensive line there through Malmedy for Milliganes. Run it a little bit wide, open the door. Well, he didn't open the door, but Dino just had to get
yellow
up
flag,
on the
sector
brakes.
3, Darkness Abyss out.
Pit lane retirement, Darkness. He was running so well, but had that spin at the same time as Kraken. Unfortunate.
And go back up the front here with this, as Darkness Abyss's car has been spat back out onto track. So that's the second time we've seen that glitch tonight. This battle up the front is now 0.2 of a second, and is all to play for.
Kraken's
well
crashed.
And truly.
Kraken's crashed on track out of Malmedy, and a full safety car! Nut Hammer pitted one lap too early.
Do these guys come in for a brand new set?
Oh, that's the question, mate. We've seen how fast they are, but we're only going to get 2 laps, I suspect, of green flag running.
Oh, Milliganes just stayed out!
Well, he made the wrong call last week, mate. He have made the right call this week. He's going to struggle compared to the likes of Dino and Stoney.
I think you'll be a bit of a sitting duck, unfortunately.
Fury makes a no-brainer. He had been 15 laps on those mediums, Kiwi as well. So they're taking advantage of this. But it just depends who comes in, who stays out. There's going to be a good 4 cars behind, or 3 cars behind on mediums behind the 2 on softs at the front. So that could just allow Milliganes a bit of a break here in his attempts to hang on to the first place as a Red Bull just absolutely launching it through the pit lane on my screen, Moose. Not quite sure what was with that. It was interesting, to say the least.
This could be a very big moment in Milliganes' championship lead.
Yeah, it could.
He definitely won't. He won't lose his lead because, as we touched on earlier, he's got such a big lead. But he could go backwards in a big way here if he's not too careful off the restart.
Yeah, and I don't think Dino's going to be in the mood to wait too long because
not with that
penalty. Hurt him with that penalty. The 2 on softs at the front, mate, have got those 3-second penalties. Then the drivers behind the 5 of them are penalty free. So it's we're going to get one. We're going to have one more lap at least under this safety car, mate. So it's going to be interesting because Suicide 5
is only just coming out. Yeah. Fair enough.
It's only the first lap of the safety car, and so we can go one more because we know we can get a 2-lap sprint. It has to go in at least 2 laps before the end, so that's what's going to happen here, I suspect. And I'm usually right about these things. But I think Milliganes.
Having said that, we did see a very late call on the safety car last night, so
yes, we did. But the last car was actually close to the back of the field, so we'll wait and see. I know Suicide 5 is going to be hoping that it doesn't come in this lap, or else he's going to be in no man's land there. But Milliganes has just got to make sure he gets this restart sorted. The longer he can hang on, Moose, the better his chances of winning.
Well, that's exactly right, because M Stone and Dino 420 fam have both got 3 seconds each. So even someone like Absolute and Tab, they're still not looking terrible in terms of a podium for this race. So yeah, it is all to play for, and it's still Milliganes' race to lose.
Yeah. Yeah, spot on, mate. We saw Dino going about a second faster per lap, so he's going to have to pull out some sort of special 2-lap sprint here to get the win. If there's anyone who can do it, it is Dino. He is rapid over 1 laps, and we've seen it here this season. His last win, and I think last podium, mate, was out in Austria in the feature race, and he drove absolutely brilliantly there. He's driven brilliantly today, and can he go on and take this win? He's probably not happy about this safety car, but he's just got to put that behind him now and get eyes forward for the remaining 2 laps, when we're going to have an absolute sprint like we saw in lap 1.
Yeah, that we are, and it definitely did benefit Nat Hammer, because as we mentioned, he did start well and truly down the field from where he normally would, and he's currently sitting 8th, and he's on brand new soft compound tyres, so he'll be very quick off the restart also.
Yes, he will. It's all to play for here, mate. This order could completely change before we get to the end of these 2 final laps. Trident, good evening to you, my friend. This is a PlayStation-only league at the moment, my friend. But it's good to have you in the chat. At the moment, who knows what could happen in the future. Only our 2nd season here at the Oceania Series Racing League. So we're in our early days, but rising up to become one of Australia's, or the Australian PlayStation Premier League on the PlayStation platform.
How many times do you want to say PlayStation in a sentence?
It's like you with Zinger last week, mate. You said about Zinger about 7 times in one sentence. It was beautiful, though. It was poetry.
Oh, it just makes my mouth a little bit moist when I say Zinger. As the safety car, the KFC Zinger safety car will be in this lap.
Yeah, it is the colour of the KFC this week.
It is,
unlike
it
the,
is.
The Aston Martin we had. Actually, I think we had the Mercedes last week as well. So.
And, mate, I had the race start, so why don't you take us through the restart?
Oh, aren't you too kind, mate? So, Milligan's not exactly giving himself much room to play with here. The safety car, he's not exactly letting it go, and he can't really slow down, so he's just going to have to go for it and try and catch some napping. So he sets up the exit out of the bus stop, and he goes for it. And Dino he hasn't gone for it, so the illegality of that restart we're not going to talk about, but he gets underway, and Dino tucks in behind into La Source. And he's just going to probably stay behind before El Rouge and look for the move down the Camel Straight. No DRS for the remainder of this race, Moose. Only 2 laps after the safety car. But Dino is pushing him here. Milligan's isn't going to give it up easy.
Such good pace.
Yeah, but look at the straight line speed of the AlphaTauri.
But Dino will be able to brake so much later. And a little bit of a rubbing of wheels, and that's such good racing. As Dino tries to cut back, and will he try around the outside? A little bit of contact there between the 2 lads as he comes back, tries to cut him back again. But excellent defensive driving here from Milligan's, and this is winning him this race.
Oh, Dino's going to look up the inside and pull on. This could be dangerous. No, he tucks back in again. He just can't find the move. He touches the back of him. He touches the back of the AlphaTauri. M. Stone's looking all sorts of interested in the battle. But Milligan's just defending brilliantly there. It's great racing here, Moose.
Well, mate, it's worth mentioning also that Dino and M. Stone, they're going to drop to about 7th or 8th if it stays like this.
Yes,
they are in no way safe with their current finishing position.
All right, here we go. Another opportunity for Dino. He's got the run. He's got the slipstream this time. He's just going to time it through Blanchimont. He's actually have to get out of it. He's gotten a little bit too close, mate. He's pushing the back of the AlphaTauri.
And he's going to have the inside line there. So all Absolute will have to do now is stay within 3 seconds. As it looks like M. Stone might get interested there as well, and does. Does M. Stone get past Milligan's? He will have the inside line into turn 1 and under braking. It looks like M. Stone just has done enough there. Milligan's goes backwards again, but still provisionally will be winning this race. He has to stay within 3 seconds.
Side by side through El Rouge here. Haas sneaks through ahead of the Aston Martin, but they're making contact through the Maranello as they exit onto the Camel for the final time in this race. It's Dino out in front, from M Stone, both with penalties. Then it's the two Alpha Tauris. Who's going to be third? Is it going to be Nathammer? Is it going to be Nathammer at the end of the camel, emerging in front?
Yeah, I did say on the safety car restart that we had to watch Nathammer because he would be so much quicker than everyone around him. That is exactly the case. He's currently up into P5, but who knows where he'll end up with penalties.
It's going to be P3 at the moment, mate.
He may even get the move done here on Absolute, as it's looking very prevalent that will be the case. As Dino is actually getting a fair bit of time in hand, so who knows what's going to happen here as these medium tyre runners, they're just not having it all their own way at the minute with those tyres just maybe going off a little bit.
Yep, so into Sector 3 for the final time. That happens looking at Absolute, but he watches one almost into the wall. Almost into the wall goes the Haas there. And now Tab is closing back up on the Haas man. But we go out to the front. It's Dino. Has he done enough for the win? I don't think he has.
Gaines will
but
win
can
this
he
race,
hang on to third? Is he going to hang on to third? It's going to be close, mate. As they battle into the bus stop. That's not what they need. So Dino crosses the line first. But it's going to be Milligains who wins out here.
Dino
and it's
does hang on to third.
1-2. And he does. Dino just hangs on ahead of Nathammer. They were battling into the bus stop, mate. And I think that's what has cost them the podium. Tab. But
it's worth mentioning that M Stone was only 2 tenths behind Dino there at the end. And look at how far down the order he's dropped.
Yep. Nathammer. It's just so close in there. Tabs and Nathammer. I actually haven't got times for them. But Alpha Tauri 1-2, mate. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Everyone gets points who finished apart from Brad Tay, who had a spin or two on the final lap there, mate. So Crazy Kiwi gets the final solo points. Suicide 5 ahead. Nick Magoo, Miles, Roscoe Arm, Flourish, Mr. Fury Strike, the Stig, Apache Franks from the back of the grid. That's a good recovery from him. Up into 7th, mate.
Definitely had a great drive today, Apache Franks.
Yeah, definitely. M Stone, the Tab, Nathammer, but well done to the Alpha Tauri boys and to Dino. Unfortunately for Dino, that safety car just came out at the wrong time for him. But Milligains, another championship drive from him today and another win in his pocket.
Yeah, extending that championship lead further again. We did mention in the first stint there, he was looking, we'll call it slow, but that would be a little bit of an understatement on the soft compound tyre. But on that medium tyre, he absolutely excelled. And that's ultimately what's won him this race, is his pace on that medium tyre. Yeah.
That's absolutely right, mate. And a reminder, get your voting for driver of the day. We'll have a chat with him as well as the top three.
Don't vote 500 times for someone.
Yeah, it's an honesty system, so please be as honest as possible. We would appreciate that. So we'll await your guys' response. We'll give you another minute or two. When is the next race? Tier 1 is tomorrow night, 7:30 Australian time, which is about an hour and 45 minutes back from where we're at the time you're currently watching right now. So, not sure if you're operating on Australian time, my friend, but about an hour and a half ago, we'll be back in Tier 1 tomorrow night. But, yeah, Milligains, absolute Dino 420 fan. What a drive from those three moves.
Yeah, too right, mate. And it has all come down to strategy here because... Dino 420 fan with the soft compound tyres at the end, just showing again that any penalty is really, really going to cost you in this Tier 2 competition, as Milligains has stonked home on those medium compound tyres to end up taking the win via penalties. Yeah,
the 3 seconds can hurt you a lot, and it's that late race safety car once again moves, just hurting those with the penalties, and it just rewards those who can keep it clean across the 50% race distance.
Yeah, that it does, and none more so than M Stone, who finished second on track. We mentioned it was only like 3 tenths behind Dino 420 fam, and he's gone from second to sixth just with that 3 second penalty. So massive, massive disappointment there for M Stone.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And we've been joined by the 3 podium sitters, Moose. You can kick it off with third place, Dino 420 fam.
No worries. Dino looking very, very rapid on those soft compound tyres there at the end. Safety car really, really hurt you, but you did look to have incredible pace throughout, mate.
Tell me about it, man. That safety car ruined whatever I had going. Was aiming to get Hamish on that very next lap and all went to shit. But no, can't complain.
No, well, absolutely not. And once you got past him there on that final lap, you looked like you were just struggling a little bit with the tyres to eke out any sort of gap. Had the tyres gone off by that point, or was it a warm-up issue, or did the guys behind you just have such good pace that you weren't able to pull out that gap?
Probably a mix of the two of them. I was probably about 35% on the restart, so it was a bit hard to get it all going, but I mean, can't really complain about it. All worked out.
Yeah, well, that's it, mate. You've started third, you'd finished third. Unfortunate there with the penalty, but you've had a really good drive there regardless, so well done to yourself.
Thank you very much. Glad to move up a spot in the standings too.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's it. Well, both the Kraken and the Fury had difficult days of it, and realistically at the moment you guys are fighting it out for second with Milligains so far out in front and extending it once again, but well done, Dino.
Thank you. Yes, it would have been good if Hamish didn't win this one, but what can I say? He did well.
Man on a mission he is.
100%.
Well, we'll move on to Absolute now, Moosey, who makes it a 1-2 for AlphaTauri there. Absolute. It was a very good drive from yourself, and that safety car worked out beautifully for you. He's a loved man in this paddock, despite the fact that he's smacking you all. I love to see it. Yeah, but even his rivals love him. Everyone loves a bit of Milligains. You heard it here first at the LSRL Tier 2 stream. But yeah, that safety car worked out for you. But your pace wasn't exactly poor all night. You just unfortunately got dislodged off the lead train earlier on, and you had to settle for where you were. But then keeping it clean in the end of the safety car got you back up into second with your teammate in first. So a good day for AlphaTauri here in Tier 2. Yeah. You know you're not right. You're not... Yeah, well, Forever Shaq holds that. Rip the Beans also holds that, mate, so you would have been a third. But, yeah, I don't want to correct you, mate, but get smacked back down, buddy. I'm the king here. It would have been nice. But, yeah, well done. And, Hamish, Milligains, you're a championship leader for a reason, and we saw why today. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
I'm not gonna lie, I went in very worried today. I'm not a massive fan of Spa. I know.
You take that back.
I'm not a massive skilled driver at Spa, so I was a bit worried. I knew that I had a fight up to me when, you know, I edited my tyre choice and my selection, but you know it was on the alternate and I didn't select the right one. I knew I was in a bit of a pair for the later in the race with Dean and M Stone on those softs, but got really lucky with that safety car there and keeping it clean. You know, Absolute was saying he wanted me to pull off there, but you know I pulled off to the left. I was going to let him fly by, but he didn't make a move, so that's on him. Yeah, right. They're right next to each other, right? I think so.
Well, Milligains, it did look like you were struggling a little bit on the soft compound tyres. Were they just a not great tyre for yourself, or was there warm-up issues like we saw with Dino a little bit later in the race? Because you had such good pace on the medium compound tyres that it just looked a little bit weird that you didn't have that excellent pace on the softs.
Yeah, I just didn't know what was going on. I felt like I couldn't really make the turns right with the softs. They heated up very quick and they got a lot of wear very quickly. And I probably attribute that to more fuel in the car. But those mediums, they felt like they're in a different league of their own. So I felt really confident in the mediums and I was able to push a lot more.
No, well, mate, and P1 for yourself, excellent drive. Cannot say well done enough as you extend your championship lead.
Thanks, boys.
Yeah, and now on to driver of the day, Moosey. And, well, I can't really disagree with this one. The man in the Haas, Nat Hammer from, 13th on the grid up to 4th. A very good drive from him today. And he deserves driver of the day, in my opinion.
You want me to talk?
Yeah.
Thought Red Bull was going to come in
I didn't
there.
really leave you with a question hanging there, but yeah, talk us through how you went out there today, mate.
Oh, shocking qualifying.
Don't worry about
Spa
that,
wet.
mate. Just talk about the race.
It's sketchy as hell on the mediums. I've adjusted my setup, and it still felt like I was on ice skates. The only time I felt good was the last 2 laps on the softs when I could actually overtake people. Got very lucky and unlucky with that safety car. I stayed out probably the longest out of everybody, and was just 1 lap short of the inevitable safety car to come out. But it definitely helped bring everybody back towards me to utilise the soft tyre. But pretty happy where I am. Happy to make up some places and get some points on the board.
That's it, mate. Some good points in your fight against the likes of Mr. Fury Strat for the championship. So well done today on Driver of the Day, and enjoy your week off, and we'll see you for Zandvoort in 2 weeks' time.
Ooh, Zandvoort. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Welcome, mate. Well, Moose, we promised action, and that's what we delivered once again here. What did you think of it?
Well, mate, I will stand by what I said a little bit earlier on, that was the greatest first lap that you and I have ever commentated on. It was absolutely action aplenty for at least the first lap and a half there, and mate, I don't think we could have called it any better, just quietly.
Yeah, it was simply brilliant racing. Nothing to argue with there. You said you could barely get a breath in, mate. It was just action for the entire 7 kilometres of the first lap, and for most of the 22 laps, mate.
Yeah.
We had something to look at. We didn't really get a break. Maybe just under those VSCs and that safety car at the end, we got to catch our breaths. But it was an absolute pleasure to call once again alongside yourself. And I can't wait for Zandvoort in 2 weeks' time, mate. Enjoy your week off, everyone. Stay tuned tomorrow night for the Tier 1 action here at Spa. And there might be a little something special coming next week. Who knows? And finally, thank you to Juan and Trident for the late follows in the stream. Appreciate it, guys. But we have been Sandeezy and Moose here from OSRL for the Tier 2 race at Belgium. And until we see you next time on OSRL stream, we'll see you soon. Stay safe.
Ta-da.
Oh, Fury.
Mate,
Oh,
that first
Fury.
lap, holy shit. That first
Mate,
lap
that first lap was insane.
That first lap needs to go on the TikTok channel.
Yeah, man. One to forget for you, Fury.
Mate, I got hit by my fucking teammate.
Oh, yes, that's right. Kyle
He absolutely yeeted into the bus stop.
Yeah, I'm fucking well aware because I fucking caught him. And then had to do a whole fucking lap with a yellow fucking wing.
Oh, he's this
Kai
fucking
Tony.
guy.
Kyle Tony just fucked your race over. I'm pretty sure he had a quality ban as well, which he didn't serve.
Dude, I was shattered. Like, that moment, like, I was so pissed. I'm like, then Blue Dog, like, crashed out immediately, like, not long after that. I'm like, fuck yeah, if there's a safety car here, like, I'm right back in it. There was no safety car. I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? And then, like, Kraken's safety car at the end helped me out a little bit, because those tyres were, like, I was gonna take him to the end, which fucking would have been a stretch and a half. Like, they felt dead with, like, 5 laps to go, and I'm